I also saw this cool fucking anti-drone drone where the guy had a pistol and mounted on it was a drone with a quadcopter, and it was sort of the quads were like being used like propellers. Rather, it wasn't going to go up; it was going to go forward when you pulled the trigger. And he aims it at a drone, and it goes na 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 na, like it locks on, and he goes zoom, and the thing goes and like flies at like 200 miles an hour, and it hits the thing and explodes it instantly. Like it goes up, tracks it, follows it, catches it, and blows it up. And I was like, we need some of those. First of all, I want to shoot those at a person so goddamn bad. Like like it looked like the coolest. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Is that a good ROI?
I bet. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Those things cost hundreds of dollars. You know, those little drones, especially. Those.
So you probably get them on Amazon.
Well, what this guy was using was like it was made to do what it was doing. Obviously, it was locking onto an enemy drone and it was flying up and catching it. But I've seen that type of drone with guys using them to do like there's like competitive drone flying where they fly through courses and do all kinds of wacky stuff. Those guys have some fast twitch a reaction time.
My friend did that. He competed in it and he made it to like the East Coast regionals or something, but he couldn't get to nationals. Drones get fast. I saw one race Max Verstappen on a Formula One course, and Verstappen won, but it was competitive. They go like 220 miles an hour at max speed. And
crazy.
Yeah, the fact that drones and F1 cars are like kind of close. Wow.
And they're only going to get better because as they put more money into like better tech for those drones. I saw Zelensky offering to help in, stopping the Iranian drones. He's like, we're pretty good at this. This is kind of what we do. We've got drone intercepting drones that cost tens of thousands of dollars. Take our shit. And it's like, why didn't we think of that before we started the war? Like, why wasn't that like step one? I feel like sometimes the people planning our wars, like we'd think of things that they hadn't thought of. They clearly didn't think of that because it's like a news story that Zelensky's offering, and Trump's like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Let's do that. Why didn't you think of that last week? They're the people fighting the drone war for the last 4 years. They might know a thing or two. And they've had to do it on a budget. They don't have that unlimited American taxpayer at their beck and call. They had to come up with their own shit and build it in numbers.
It's a bad vibe for Russia. Like the countries all these little countries, like if you're Luxembourg, you warm up to one of the big countries for protection. And the big countries are Russia, China, and America. Well, the ones that cozied up to Russia for protection include Syria, Venezuela, and Iran. Russia's not protecting you at all. Like Russia hasn't done shit for these countries, and they seem absolutely powerless to be able to do anything. So Russia's losing its position on the world stage.
Yeah, well, I don't remember if it wasn't
none
it like
of the
a few days into the Ukraine conflict that Putin tried to send a team of like Spetsnaz or whatever that they're called now to get Zelensky, and they were all killed. Like he tried to pull a Venezuela like the US did, and they just
that was their opening move. They tried to. So there's some really good YouTube videos that break down the battle for the Kiev airport. Those guys were heroes. At first, there weren't very many Ukrainians there, and they were fighting tooth and nail. And then very quickly, they parked equipment all over the runway and made the runway so that the Russians couldn't land reinforcements. And then shot the Russian helicopters down that were landing. And all of a sudden, more Ukrainians started showing up, and they fought tooth and nail until they killed every Russian that had landed. And the whole decapitation strike had failed. If they had taken that airport, they'd have been able to quickly land thousands of troops, but without that airport, they were fucked. And that's how we got to where we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was contested for a bit. Like, I think the Ukrainians almost retook it, right? Does that sound right to you? Because they were landing some expensive shit in Kiev. If I have my facts right, I might not. That implied, like they have the airport, they're putting planes down, and then they lost it, I think.
I don't remember it that way, but maybe
more, is it?
I could be wrong.
No,
Ukraine has full control over that airport.
Oh yeah, that's in the capital. Yeah. They haven't. The borders are.
They're like hundreds of miles battling away from that.
Yeah, they're pretty far away. They've been static for so long. That thing is such a fucking meat grinder with 1,000 people dying a day on each side or something like that, and with no end in sight.
Yeah,
and they're just bombing it.
I'm right. They had Kiev airport for a day.
A day?
Mm-hmm. That's what
ChatGPT.
During the opening hours of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, February 24, 22, Russian helicopters inserted airborne troops. They temporarily seized the airport after heavy fighting. Their plan was to airlift large number of troops and equipment into the airport. The strategy was capture the airport. I could go on. It's a little while, but yeah, they initially captured the airport.
Well, I mean, I see their strategy. If that would have worked, that would have been tied up for them pretty early. Yeah,
it was so close. If they just had a little bit more success and the big planes came in bringing all the troops, it would have been a different thing.
Yeah,
but
I'm glad it didn't. It's good to have Putin in this terrible position he's in. Like he's quagmired down. His economy is in shambles. He's lost 1.5 million men, I think it is now, to injured or killed. It's an absurd number.
And another million left.
That's crazy. It's such a big country too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, them being in this means that they can't really come to Iran's aid at this point. They can't really do anything on the other side of the planet because they're already stuck in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. I do worry about China, like you said. This seems like the time to go to Taiwan. This seems like the move. Like we're busy elsewhere, and we're bogged down.
You know what that will do to RAM prices? Good golly.
Yeah, then gaming is going to be just
settle in on your 4080, boys.
It's going to be decades. Damn. Well, hopefully China doesn't do that. Seems like who knows how often they're running little internal war games. Just think they're theorizing how well they would do and how much they could take in Taiwan, or if they're just now thinking fuck, the time is not yet. The U.S. is revealing some military tech we weren't aware of that sets us back. I don't know.
Yeah, they talk about they've described the defense of Taiwan as like a porcupine defense, making it just impossible to take, like a death by 1,000 cuts. They want to fill that entire ocean with anti-ship drones. You could have anti-ship drones that go down to a depth and sit there asleep until you wake them up, and then they just blow your boat up. You could fill the whole South China Sea up with those if you're Taiwan.
That's pretty spooky. Have you seen those footages recently of giant Chinese fishing fleets going off the coast of Chile and just bringing back hundreds of trillions, it looks like, pounds of fish, just stealing them from Chile, and the biggest nets you've ever seen.
Sweeps the ocean clean.
Yeah, just sweeping
little
the ocean
Lisa's
clean.
Slurry.
There's something about that area of the world where they're like, yeah, fuck these fish, fuck this river, we're taking it, we're wrecking it, peeing it on the way out, boys.
China's not that close to Chile. I'm looking at a map here. That's a haul.
It is. I don't remember what country it was. It was a South American country, though.
It makes sense. I mean, Chile, Ecuador, etc. But
they wouldn't try that up the coast of Cali, I wouldn't think.
Exactly, or Hawaii or something. Like America would get pissed, Australia would get pissed, and they probably already fished out Papua New Guinea, or however you pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't think those guys have a fighting chance if they pop by. There's 11 of them. They're like, hey, can we have some of the fish at least?